AT&T ad featuring coverage from space is being challenged by T-Mobile. Another one of these BBB things. All right, the NAD found that an AT&T ad for its nascent supplemental coverage from space service implied that it is available despite the fact that it is not. Decision made by a swift challenge brought by T-Mobile. These challenges are expedited processes for single-issue advertising. AT&T said it will appeal the decision. The swift challenge was made against an AT&T ad entitled Epic Bad Golf Day featuring actor Ben Stiller. SCS services provide coverage via satellite to areas unserved by terrestrial infrastructure. AT&T has announced such a service, but it has not yet launched. The NAD found one reasonable message conveyed is that AT&T is advertising the current availability of SCS from AT&T. Accordingly, NAD recommended that AT&T either discontinue the claim that SCS is presently available to AT&T customers or modify the claim to clearly and conspicuously disclose that SCS is not available now. So AT&T is appealing. So look, I'm all for companies advertising, promoting their stuff, talking about how great and capable it is, but you can't straight up lie. You know what I mean? And I think by implying that they offer the cell coverage from space, currently, I think it's very misleading. I think it has to be one of those situations where it's like coming soon or expect it later this year or, some kind of a time frame when it would launch. But, this feels really, I don't know, dishonest. It doesn't feel like it's, being transparent and truthful in its entirety. Maximus, what's your take?
So I watched the ad and I saw, most of it was just, the actual action happening. But at the very end, text on the screen showed up saying, "The future of AT&T is a satellite call away," or something along those lines. They could have been more direct about it being, coming soon, still in development, not available yet. I think it was a smart decision for them to market it now, so it's kind of in people's minds and people are aware of it. I don't think it's as bad as T-Mobile is trying to make it out to be, or the others going against AT&T for this. But at the same time, they could have added a little something, coming later this year, coming soon, something like that. But it's really minor.
So, Franconius, do you think that the just the nature of these claims by AT&T are out of line? Do you think they should have kind of modified it from the beginning? Why do you think they just kind of fearlessly made it, even though they had no proof that the service actually exists?
Direct shot at T-Mobile and their partnership with Starlink.
I see.
I think definitely they're trying to get ahead of the curve and make it, AT&T historically and factually has a better and more reliable network than T-Mobile terrestrially. So they want customers to go with the same thought process whenever it comes to satellite connectivity. But as we've discussed in several podcasts, this should be a service like the Apple SOS thing, where you don't necessarily want it to be used. It's only going to be used in emergency situations. So the fact that they're using this as a marketing tool to get more customers says more about their continued fight against T-Mobile and growth than anything else. This is just another way for them to churn the T-Mobile customers that left them for T-Mobile in times past, in my opinion.
In your, I guess we'll just call it personal opinion, because you can't really be wrong on this. It's your take. Do you think that this is a case of like the pot in the kettle, like T-Mobile challenging AT&T for deceitful ads? Do you think that's in play here?
I don't know. I'm actually kind of with T-Mobile on this one. I just watched the ad while you guys were talking. It is a very, very misleading advertisement.
That's the vibes I get from it. Like they didn't indicate launching soon. It's like they implied that it was already there.
Yeah, and it looks like AT&T, so that I see that your article is a few weeks old. This is from an article from this morning, actually, on The Verge. I'll send it to you in the chat so you can put it up. But it looks like AT&T actually did go back and change the verbiage of the ad. Specifically, the last slide where it said the future of help is an AT&T satellite call away. They changed it to say the future of help will be an AT&T satellite call away. Like, come on, man. Like, you got caught red-handed lying, and then this is your play
That's the
to try
reply, right?
and
Add one
come
word to call
on.
it a day. Add one word to call it a day. By the way, they aired this ad during March Madness also.
Can I add
Also,
something real quick, Sneed? So like
yeah, go
this
ahead.
is they're definitely deceitful because like the whole going back to the data breach thing that happened. I just got a letter from AT&T today. I have not had an account with them since 2019, letting me know that quote unquote certain text messages and call logs were compromised, but nothing else was. But here I am disputing charges on my credit right now with TransUnion because I saw some accounts show up in collections that weren't my accounts. So Team AT&T is definitely deceitful.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
All right. So, B, with respect to this situation here, do you think that the telco space with their advertising, I mean, we've seen this from Charter, we've seen it from Comcast, we've seen the claims getting thrown around between Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. They're saying, oh, this is lies. They challenge. Do you think that at some point we just have to accept the fact that the advertising culture with telco is just full of lies and that's what we should expect moving forward? Do you think there's some hope that maybe the NID can get through and just press these people to just get right in the first place?
Perhaps. But I mean, honestly, Sneed,
I feel like in corporate America, as long as it's business, you're allowed to lie,
Well, I mean, people lie, so I mean, I agree, and that's both business and consumer. But honestly, I also believe some carriers lie a lot more than others. I take the stance that you kind of, alluded to a few seconds ago. Now I know T-Mobile ain't talking about somebody lying. Now I know.
Oh man, yeah,
That's the first.
Eugene.
That's the first thing I thought of. Now. Wait a minute. Who is the one who's raising the white? Who?
And for what it's worth, AT&T has really pushed back on a lot of T-Mobile ads. I mean, these types of stories get published all the time. I only cover a couple of them here and there, but it is very frequent that AT&T is pushing back on something that T-Mobile is saying. SMT Nation, it is time for me to introduce to you Aura. Give you guys an incredible suite of cybersecurity protections to keep everything that you do online safe, keeping you safe from identity theft, scams, online threats, including protections for your entire family. They offer pretty much a worry-free trial period. Obviously, the pricing is very competitive, starting at $12 per month. They've got one simple and easy app for you to use. They've got incredible features, $1 million in coverage, 24/7 expert fraud support, transparent pricing, the money-back guarantee at 60 days with a free trial, no strings attached. So with the odds of falling victim to an online crime being 1 in 4, this would change everything. Really should check them out. The financial fraud protection is worth its weight in gold. Help keep your kids protected within boundaries that you set forth for them. Proven to be the fastest, most reliable fraud alert system. And it's as simple as choosing your plan, simply setting up how you're enrolled, and then getting notified for all the things that it's monitoring. Start your free trial now. Use our link. It's down in the description, and it's also here on the screen, aura.com/Sneed. You guys can click the URL. It's hyperlinked down in the description. And again, it's up here on the screen, aura.com/Sneed. Protect yourself from all the digital threats that's out there in the world.